Okay, I'm going to demonstrate part 2 of the Excel assignment, the formatting section for Excel assignment 1. So the first things first, I want to make sure that I'm on sheet 1, and I'm going to begin with the instructions starting on page 2 about halfway down, formatting for sheet 1. Starting with column A, I want to set the width of the column to 30. So I'm selecting column A, and I'm going format, column width, and I'm typing into the box 30 and OK. So the width is 30. For column B, going to column B, format, column width, and the format column width for column B should be 45. Clicking OK. And the column widths for C, D, and E, I'm setting to 15. So I'm going to set them all at once, starting on C, dragging across to E, format, column width, 15, and OK. So my column widths are set. Now for cells D2 and D3, these two cells, I want to select both cells, and I want to turn on Word Wrap. That's on my home ribbon. There's my Word Wrap button. And I'm going to turn on Word Wrap. So now I want to set the height of rows 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to select all 3 rows, selecting 1, 2, and 3, and I'm setting the height. So again, format, row height to 45, and OK. Good. Now I want to merge and center cells A1 through E1. So I'm starting on A1, I'm dragging across to E. And I'm going to use the Merge and Center button on the home ribbon to merge and center those cells. Now I want to set the font for the entire sheet, so I'm going to select this arrow in the corner here to select the entire sheet. That's this arrow in the corner at the intersection of A and 1. And I'm setting the font for the whole sheet. And I'm looking for Courier New. And I'm going to set it to size to 12. Okay, so the whole sheet is Courier New size 12. Cell A1, the title cell, I want to set the font size to 28. Setting the font size to 28. Now for this cell, I want to fill the background, which is the paint bucket. I want to fill it with black, which means I need to then change the font color for the cell. Make sure I have the cell selected, and the font color will be white. Font color white. And I want to bold all my titles, my title rows, so that is from A1 to E3. I'm going to bold all of that information. Okay. Now for E2, this cell over here, I'm going to be using the number section of the ribbon, and I'm going to set the number format for that cell to percentage to display that as a %. Okay. And cells C4 to D18, that's C4, starting here across to D and down to 18. I want to set that to number to display them as numbers with 2 decimal places. And for the first 2 cells of those columns, here and here, C4 and D4, now I want to set it to currency to give me the dollar signs at the top. And I want to do the same thing down here for B20 to B22. I want to set these rows, these cells here also to currency format. Okay, currency format. Good. And now the last thing is I want to change the sheet name with a right click, rename. And I want to change the name of this to Book List, and OK. So the sheet is now named Book List. And that's the end of the page 2 instructions. We're going to go to sheet 2 now. Sheet 2, actually go to the top of the sheet, and we're going to do the formatting for this sheet as well. So starting with column A, I want to do the column width. So I'm selecting A, format, column width, and I want to set it to 30, and OK. Column B, I want to set the column width to 45. And then from C, D, E, and F to G, from C to G, all of these, starting on C, dragging across to G, format, column width, and 15. Okay, and now for cells F2 and E3, I want to turn on the word wrap. So that's F2 and E3. These two. I want to turn on the wrap text here and here. Wrap text. Okay, so the wrap text is on for F2 and E3. Rows 1, 2, and 3, I want to set the height. So I'm selecting 1, 2, and 3, setting the row height to 45. Setting the row height to 45. So cells A1 to G1, I'm selecting A1 across to G1, and I'm going to merge and center those cells. Now I want to change the font for the entire sheet, so I'm selecting here the entire sheet selector. I want to set it to Courier, New, size 12. So my whole sheet is Courier New size 12. Cell A1, I want to set the font size to 28. And I want to change the background color to black and the font color to white. Now I want to bold all my header cells, so that's from A1 to G3, A1 down to G3. If you're having trouble selecting, use your shift arrow keys to do the selection, and I want to bold those. So now I'm going to do some number formatting, starting with cell G2. This I'm going to set as a percentage to show the percent. And then from D4, the price list, D4 to E18, I want to set that. Again, if you're having trouble with the selection, use your arrow keys and the shift key. So shift over and then shift down to row 18. And I'm going to set these to number. Give me nice even decimal places. And I'm going to do the same thing for the line total column, G4 to G18. I'm going to set those also to number format. D4 and E4, these two, I want to set to currency format so that the first cells in the column have currency formatting. I'm going to do the same thing to G4. I want the first cell of every number column that has currency in it to show the currency format. And I also want to go down to the total row down here in G19. I want to set that to currency as well to show that it's a total in dollars. Okay. And then I'd like to bold my total line here and here. So that's cell F8, F19 to G19. I'm going to bold those to show the totals nicely. And now I'm going to B20, which is the only digit that I have that has currency information, most expensive item. So that's cell B20. I'm going to set that to currency as well. And finally, I'm changing the name of the sheet. Right click, rename, and this one I'm going to call packing list. Okay, if I zoom out, I'm going to zoom out so I can see everything on one screen. This is what sheet 2, the packing list sheet, should look like, and your sheet 1 should look like this. And this has all been done in Excel online, so there's no need to do this on the desktop. Once you've done this, you want to make sure you go File and share with people. Put my email address in, sernest@georgebrown.ca. Choose me and hit send. That's done, and then what you'll do is you'll go into Blackboard, log into Blackboard, you're going to go to our class, and in assignments, go to Excel assignment 1, and just submit an empty assignment. If it complains that it's blank, that's fine, because you're not attaching the file. That's fine. And that is all you need to do to complete the assignment.